Okay. Is that my phone vibrating? What the? I've never heard that sound. That caught me off guard for a minute. So welcome back to another video. My name is Onako. And before we begin, you already know what's below. You already know what's free. Do it if you want to. Stay updated with me if you want to. But definitely let me know down below. I need to remember to actually say in the videos, recommend things to watch, because I definitely want to. It depends if you want to watch me react to what you want. I don't know. Anyways, well, welcome back. We got a video finally that we all needed. All of us Elden Ring awaiters out there, from Vati Vidya. And funny enough, I seen comments, couple like 2 or 3, on the Elden Ring videos, on like the regular ones, not my own reaction video, but talking about like, we'll wait for Vati Vidya to give like a breakdown, and here it is. It's right here. So I'm glad, because this man right here, soft voice.
Miyazaki just did a bunch of interviews, and we learned a lot of really.
I'm gonna turn it up,
things.
but
for example,
if you hear it on my mic too.
Turns out it's not specific to this weapon.
Okay, and funny what he's about to go into right here. Already pausing, but it's my type of reaction video. I at first did think that until I heard the original interview, thinking, I was like, oh, here we go, like it's recycled. But no, you can actually put these weapon, I don't even know if we can call them weapon arts anymore. You can, like, guess you can put them on other weapons.
As you can mix and match weapon arts to multiple weapons. See this pot boy, you might be able to capture enemies like this and then summon them as spirit helpers that fight alongside.
That was another cool thing.
Bosses can supposedly be tackled in any order. We now know a lot about which parts of the story were written by children.
I didn't hear that. I thought they said, or Miyazaki said, specific areas will be kind of unreachable. But see, that's why I'm watching this. Maybe he found something else out that I didn't hear.
George R.R. Martin, and multiplayer is supposed to be more convenient than ever before. Elden Ring news has really only just...
Again, I always say, do your own research. So I want to check for myself, because I swear I didn't hear that.
...begun, so please subscribe and keep up with it all. For the purposes of this video, though, I've split the information into 4 categories: gameplay, the open world, multiplayer, and story. Let's begin with gameplay. So Elden Ring will see the return of the stamina bar, though Miyazaki notes that he feels like it has less influence on the player overall compared to previous games.
Okay.
It sounds like it's going to be closest to Bloodborne, though, where stamina can stop you from spamming actions up to a certain point, but still allows for really fast-paced gameplay. They've obviously learnt a lot from working on Sekiro most recently, and like Sekiro, Elden Ring also has an implementation of stealth. You can crouch to sneak up on enemies, bypass certain areas, or
again, like I said, I feel like it's very useless, only for the reason that I divide stealth like this. You have a stealth crouch, like in Saints Row, which I'm playing right now. You can crouch and stealth behind enemies, and you can, like, you know, execute them. But mostly all the enemies notice you after that. It's not really like stealth.
Assess situations while hiding in long grass. Additionally, when not...
That could be kind of useful, but then again, you're probably just going to pop out and go balls to the wall.
Night falls, your stealth is enhanced, but your visibility is decreased, and some scary enemies will only appear at night as well. Elden Ring now also has a jump button, allowing you to avoid sweeping attacks and perform jump attacks that differ based on the weapon you wield. Furthermore,
okay, there's sweep attacks. More dynamic fights. I like that. One thing I'll say too is I didn't expect them. No, actually, we'll continue.
Damage has been greatly reduced to encourage your vertical exploration. And unlike any game before it, Elden Ring has horseback combat, although Miyazaki stresses that most battles will still be done on foot, except for certain fights where you might need that extra mobility. But the newest and most fascinating addition to
Was that a double jump on the horse?
ability,
Are we playing Terra?
but the newest and
Or not Terra, Trove?
fights where
You get
might
the
need
multiple
that
jumps
extra
on your
ability.
mounts?
But the newest and most fascinating
Did I not catch this in the...
to Elden Ring's gameplay, in my opinion, are summonable spirits. So, as seen briefly in the trailer, these are enemy-based spirits that fight alongside you, and they fulfill certain roles, like tanking for you, or attacking from range, or assisting you in melee. They're also able to be leveled up, apparently, and maybe even customized. Now, they can't be summoned everywhere, but they are something that you're apparently supposed to consider as a part of your build, similar to how you pick up a weapon and upgrade that. And like weapons, who you choose to summon will also come down to personal
Ah, look at the animations, though. I know he's talking about the summoning right there.
taste. Miyazaki himself says that players might often enjoy a certain enemy tagging along with them, even if they're not much use in combat. Potboy.
Facts. I want the little cute pot. What I was gonna say is, it's actually, I have no problem with the animation. I'm actually glad that it like feels like, I don't know if it's going to feel like a Dark Souls game, but by the looks of it.
I choose you. It's funny, ever since I saw Father Owl summon a bird that defends him, I thought this would make a good addition to the game, and it's crazy that it's actually a thing now. In fact, you literally see a character summon a bird here. So spirits having these specific roles,
That's a cool
unique
armor set.
animations is so much better than just having a human NPC following you around awkwardly, like in Dark Souls. Overall though, Elden Ring is probably closest to Dark Souls in terms of gameplay and combat. This is what was expected, but what I didn't expect was how deep they're going with build customization. Because in addition to magic...
Nah, I did expect it. The only reason I did expect them to get this deep is because it's a thing of repetition. As much as people wanted, like, probably didn't really. Actually, this is the one game series I didn't really hear people go Dark Souls 4, Dark Souls 4. But you got Bloodborne, Sekiro. You got, like, I only say Sekiro like that because I didn't really play it and didn't really consider it a Souls game. But you have them, and then it's like, okay, so what's the next step? If we were to take Dark Souls and make it better, what would you do? You have to improve on stuff. Well, we'll see in our own hands when the game is out. But it looks like they improved on a lot more.
weapons, armor,
So I expected
and
it.
spirit summons now. You also have skills.
It almost looks like they gave you your like the different moves from Dark Souls and just allowed you to be more fluent with them now.
So in Dark Souls, every weapon had a different weapon art, special attacks that could be activated with L2. Sekiro also had combat arts, which you could equip to your character and perform by holding L1 and R1. I feel like neither of these things were a huge success gameplay-wise,
Sure.
but now in Elden Ring we have skills, which are kind of a combination of weapon arts and combat arts.
Yeah.
So there are around 100 skills in total, apparently, and they can be freely assigned to a large variety of weapons.
Yeah, that's
So you see this jump back slash the character is doing with the curved sword. If you liked the skill but not the sword, then you could assign this skill to a different weapon. This alone is an insane amount of build variety.
and freedom.
PvP players are going to love this, and
Yep.
it's going to help to fill the open world with discoverable abilities. The open world is also filled with crafting materials, which you can search for and use to create
I
the
heard
items
this.
you need the most. A lot of these, says Miyazaki, will be healing items, which will be necessary, he says, since you might find yourself fighting for a longer time between checkpoints than in previous games. Of course, all this experience you get from fighting can also be used to level up your character. So, between skills, spirit summons, weapons, magic, armor, consumables, and crafting materials, you're going to have a ton of tools at your disposal to take on the world. But one thing to consider is that I feel like all of this is going to affect the difficulty of the game, specifically its skill floor. So, something like Sekiro, for example, had a very high skill floor. In order to progress in that game, you literally needed to have the mechanical skill to overcome certain fights. In that game, you can't rely on leveling up your character or using tools that the boss is weak to.
Not gonna lie, I like that because it kind of weed out the weak. But no, I like that
Elden Ring,
because I noticed that about PvP in Dark Souls. Not a lot of people beat me in Dark. Okay, see, that seems like I'm flexing. But what I mean is, you really had to be like, you knew who was good at the game if you were fighting someone good. You know, in a sense, I don't know if Dark Souls and Bloodborne that much, but like it feels like in Elden Ring, like he's saying, it's going to be even more of that.
on the
I
other
kind of
hand,
like that.
will offer ways in-game to overcome difficulty. It's just like Dark Souls in that regard. This isn't a bad thing, it just means that if you're lacking a bit of the mechanical skill, difficulty can also be overcome with preparation, cooperation.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, still, I'm still applying what I said. Damn, though. So you're gonna. I thought Dark Souls. I guess you can make a one-hit huge Dark Souls build, and then screw skill. Okay,
Exploration
never
as
mind.
well. While exploring a massive world, you'll also have access to a world map, which you can consult to see where you are, where you've been, and where you've yet to go. This map will work in the open world, but apparently not in the smaller spaces of each map. These legacy dungeons are said to be more akin to what we're used to in Dark Souls, and each open world will have its own main dungeon, as well as catacombs, camps, and fortresses.
Are these
dispersed throughout
screenshots?
the open
Wow.
world. There are
That's
6
really
open
reminiscent
worlds
of
that we'll be
Bloodborne.
exploring, and each is going to be the domain of demigod characters that we'll discuss in a different video. Altogether though, these areas are called the Lands Between, and they're arranged in such a way that there is a logical progression to these open worlds, although you don't have to follow it. In fact, apparently you can skip more than half the game's bosses if you want to. In that sense, the game sounds a lot more like Breath of the Wild, where the main path is quite clear, but side paths are tempting to explore. And according to Miyazaki, none of these side paths or side quests will appear on your map. Instead, it's up to the player to mark these things themselves manually, which I feel like is fantastic for immersion. A little later in the game, the player will be able to access a hub area, where you can branch out into the 6 main areas of the Lands Between. On top of this, fast travel is also present, though From Software say that they encourage users to enjoy the exploration and uncover the map for themselves. Like in all open world games, and like in Dark Souls as well, the more you discover, the more powerful your character becomes, and I'm sure that the difficulty of a From Software game will be a really good motivator for exploring the world, and not just fast traveling everywhere. This was a problem I noticed in Ghost of Tsushima. At some point, I became so powerful that I didn't really need to explore the game anymore, so I think that the skill of From Software in designing difficult areas will really help to motivate you to explore a bit more. But From Software says that another motivator for exploring is going to be meeting NPCs around the world, who are said to add drama to the journey. They add twists to the narrative, and they also influence the endings. According to Miyazaki, the NPCs you meet will have a really big impact on the way you view the world and the story, because they'll reveal how they see the world, and he even calls them protagonists, and says that they're an extremely important part of Elden Ring, which, is certainly more than he said about NPCs in past games. For all these NPCs, however, there will be no bustling towns or villages in Elden Ring, compared to something like Breath of the Wild. This isn't their specialty, he says, so they've chosen to focus on other things, like dungeons and level design and also character customization. The usual, fragmentary story presentation methods through item descriptions and dialogue are said to be expected, though the team also says that they're leveraging what they learned from Sekiro and think they'll be better able to present the surface plot through dialogue and cutscenes. But what is really said to be different this time is how the story of this game came to be written. In the past, Miyazaki says that he would set a game system and then write a story that matches that, but this time he says it was kind of the opposite. George Martin wrote the foundations of the story. He came up with the mythos of the world, including the Tarnished and the 6 demigods, and then the team applied gameplay systems to suit that story. From Software said that they expected to have to leave out parts of the mythos to suit the game systems, but that luckily it ended up not being like that, and that their collaboration was...
Funny enough, it seems like stuff is really... I can't wait to get into it because it seems like a lot is... It's really... Like, the guy who wrote the foundation and based on what they designed, it's almost very... There are elements of, like, knights and kind of stuff like that. And maybe, like... I don't really know what mythology the knights would really... I guess I would say, like, the Roman kind of, or Greek gods. I don't know. Knights were just, like, Christian, right? I don't know. But it seems like there's also Norse mythology thrown into this. Like, but he did such a great job, both of them, for writing it, did such a good job in making it so in their vision. Because that's ultimately what all religion, all the old gods, whether Hinduism and all this stuff is about making your own deities and entities and worlds, and especially gaming in general is like that. That's why I'm excited for Elden Ring, because I want to see a lot of the references made, if there are any.
Fruitful one. Speaking
like that, I'm telling you, I'll keep saying that tree reminds me of Yggdrasil.
Collaborations, the developers are aiming to make it easier to co-op. Firstly, you previously needed items like humanity or embers in order to participate in online play, but now this requirement has been either reduced or removed.
Okay.
Secondly, because the world is so vast now, special locations now exist where players can leave their signs and see who is currently available. Lastly, once you're sharing a world with someone, it seems like interface elements will be added to provide more information about other players in the world. And to enhance the connections that you have to those around you, something called groups are being added to the game. So once you join a group, you'll be able to single out the phantoms, the bloodstains, and the messages from other people in your group to connect on a more relatable level. For example, I'll probably be able to set the password potboy, and you guys will be able to see and connect with other people who have chosen the superior spirit companion. On top of this, the game will also have covenants, which are said to add flavor to the multiplayer. You know, something like the Aldrich Faithful from Dark Souls 3, for example, where you roleplay as a defender of Aldrich. This kind of thing is back in the game. And PvP is also, of course, confirmed. It's even possible in these massive open fields, which is a nice surprise. That said though, Miyazaki said that you can't use your horse in the open field in PvP, which kind of confuses me because I can see how PvP might be awkward on horseback, but I don't understand how they're going to disable you from getting on your horse. It just seems so necessary for the open world. Before you go...
Yo, and I was just going to say it'd be funny, like, riding in and having someone, like, have, like, two people clash, go, like, on horses or knock each other off of horses or something.
The Elden Ring inspired merch I mentioned in the last video.
Look at Elden. Look at. So it is Norse elder folk.
Check out the last video, which is more of an analysis of the trailer, and keep an eye out for a story video, which I think I'm going to work on next, because there's a lot of information on the story that I haven't covered, particularly on the official websites, and also about all the contextualization we can give to the first trailer that was released. So keep an eye out for that video, and I'll see you guys next time. So much fun covering all this stuff, so thank you for being here.
Wow. Yeah, I was waiting for a video like that to come. Like, I've been checking Vati video. I don't subscribe to most of these guys because it's kind of like a energy thing, you know, like if like I really have to feel you to subscribe. So if you notice, I'm not subscribed to a lot of these guys. Yeah, not to too many, but hooey, great video, Vati. That is amazing. If I can call you Vati, that I like listening to him put it together. But what I can say so far is I'm just ready. Oh look, Bandai Namco commented, we're looking forward to see how you all build your Tarnish come January. Yeah, It looks like to me, it really looks like they're doing what game developers should do, not breaking the old systems. It looks like a lot of good stuff was incorporated from the other games, and they built upon it. It's such a simple thing. It's such a simple thing to grasp. And no, I'm not taking. First of all, I don't really argue with people anyways, because arguing is pointless. But, it's such a simple thought, right? If you got a good formula, and don't be afraid to try something new. If you try something new and you feel like in your heart what you've created is good or anything, hey, more power to you. But like imagine if they took Elden Ring, right, and just went left field with it. They were just like, you seen the trailers, everything, but you got in a game and it was like playing, like, I gotta say something so out there. You're playing like this is the first thing that came to mind, a God of War RPG, like the new God of War. Whoa. I remember to drink some water in between talking. Jeez. But like you hopped on and it was like Dragon Ball Z or something crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just completely broke all their systems, destroyed something that they had going well. Like, it seems like Miyazaki got that one thing that, like, even like, let me talk about it for, you know what? No, I'll make another video talking about it, a dedicated commentary to it. But it's like, they did not break something that was already beautiful. They took Sekiro, which was a good game. They took Bloodborne, which was a good game. They took the Dark Souls series, which were good games. Old systems, boop. Elden Ring, let's improve upon it in a whole new world too. Let's go. Let's go. I was gonna say it's like me taking every bad reaction YouTube channel. All right, I'm out. Peace.